such a audience, riveted audience. Hey everybody, welcome to ClearPath LeaderCast. I want to just jump in, make sure I can see your comments today. Hopefully as you guys are all joining in, you took an opportunity to accept the StreamYard. So if you have any questions, or if you have any comments as we go through, I am happy to answer any questions that you guys have as we go through. I'll be able to see your comments regardless, but I won't be able to see your name unless you've accepted StreamYard. So hopefully you guys can all join in and ask any questions as we go through. As I said, always happy to answer questions from you guys as we go through. If you're watching this on replay, hit me with a hashtag replay, ask any questions there, and I'll be happy to jump in and answer any questions you have after the fact. These videos are being streamed live both on our Facebook group, our Facebook community, ClearPath Leaders Forum, and the ClearPath Coaching and Consulting YouTube channel. The recordings for the long term are only available through the community, and you can join that community at clearpathcoaches.com/community. But as we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Craig Anderson. I'm the president and founder of ClearPath Coaching and Consulting. I have about 25 years of experience working in Fortune 100 companies, but the real truth is I'm a guy with an English degree who didn't ever do very well in his business classes. So how did that transformation occur? It was a little bit of luck, some opportunity, but it was also really saying yes a lot and being willing to learn the things that really matter when running a business, not the academic work, but really the actual understanding of how you make decisions in a business. And that's what I was really able to pick up through my time growing from being a contributor to being a leader in the companies that I worked for. I really paid attention to what the things are that made those companies successful. And so much of it is the attention to detail. It's how you make people decisions and how you treat people. It's having processes defined for your business, and it's really planning so you're ready for the future for your business. And that's what I really learned through that. And also where I really found over time, where I really enjoyed, was developing people. One of the opportunities of being in leadership is you get to develop people and bring people along. And that's what really led to my work here at ClearPath Coaching and Consulting. After my time in the Fortune 100 companies, I was actually able to launch a small business out of a larger company as a wholly owned subsidiary, really focused on then scaling those things I learned at the Fortune 100 companies to the small business format. But again, the thing that really resonated was developing people and developing leaders in the organization, because that's how you perpetuate the organization going forward, and really helping people see in themselves what they might not see so easily looking at it from the inside. And so that's really the excitement about what we do here at ClearPath Coaching and Consulting, is help people become the leader they aspire to be. And also helping them run the business that they always dreamed of. So we really put all that together for you in our coaching programs, and would love to talk to you more about that. If you'd like to schedule a consulting call to see how we can help you grow your business, reach out to me at clearpathcoaches.com/consult call. We'll get something set up and start talking to you right away to see how we can help you become the person that you aspire to be in your business context. So today's focus is on accountability. Now, if I were just shameless, I'd say, well, the best way to get personal accountability as a business owner is to hire me as your coach. But that's not really the first step that you need to make. There's some other great opportunities for you to start building accountability. You know, it's one thing when you are the business owner, you can hold your team accountable. You can work with them to hold them accountable. And you may be very comfortable holding people accountable. Perhaps you came up through a corporate side like I did, and now you own your business, or you're a higher level leader and you're used to holding people accountable, and that's great. But one of the things that you find as you kind of get higher is you have a lot more responsibilities and a lot more things that you are responsible for, but you have fewer and fewer people holding you accountable. And so how do you start building personal accountability into your routine? Because sometimes if you don't tell yourself what to do and you don't hold yourself accountable to goals, it's really easy for those goals to slide. So what we're going to do today is provide you with 3 actionable tips that you can take today to start helping yourself become more accountable to yourself, because that's ultimately, as the owner of the business, unless you get into something where you have stakeholders or shareholders, that is how you're building that accountability in. So what do you need to do? So really, a couple things, but the first thing is to get really clear on what success looks like. Because when you understand what success looks like for you, that is how you can, that becomes the measure by which you start holding yourself accountable. are we achieving those things that we are going to measure as success? You can spend a lot of time as a business owner on a lot of things, and not all those things are really in line with what your strategic goals are for the business and the things that you're going to measure as success. So the first thing that I really encourage you to work on is get from the start kind of a long-term vision, 3 years of where you want your business to be or your division to be, or even if you're a solopreneur, where you want to be in 3 years, and get really clear on defining that for your business. And I'm not just talking about, in 3 years, we're going to help a lot of people do a lot of things and we're going to be super awesome at it. That's not it at all. What I'm talking about is in 3 years, we're going to have this much revenue, serving this many clients in this specific area that we're going to focus in, providing these products and services, because we want a really clear picture of what that long-term success looks like for your business. So I really encourage you, step one, to put that in place. Spend the time really refining in your head what success looks like in 3 years, so you know what it is you're trying to build to, and you know where you're going to end up, or you're going to look back and say, man, crushed it, did everything I said I was going to do. So let's get that 3-year piece in place. I also really encourage you to think about a mission statement of why am I doing this? Because here's the thing, somewhere across those 3 years, it's going to be hard, and probably a few times it's going to be hard. And that mission statement of why you're doing this, why you decided to create this and set these goals, that's what's going to give you the energy to persevere through the very difficult times, because you have some idea of how you're going to change the world. And I can guarantee you're going to want to have to remember that and recall that for yourself several times. So get those two pieces in place. And then the next piece of that is, let's go time travel back to say, all right, if that's where I'm going to be in 3 years, where do I want to be at the end of year one? And get really focused on what are the numbers that if I'm going to be there in 3 years that you need to achieve at the end of year one. So now we have that near-term accountability that we have to say, am I doing things every day that are going to get me to those numbers? Or am I doing a whole bunch of other stuff that feels like I'm doing things but aren't really getting to me to the objectives that I want to measure at the end of the year? And similarly, you're going to figure out, hey, I got to build some stuff to be able to do that. So that figure out what those projects are. So then the first step in holding yourself accountable is to know where you need to be and the things you have to build to get there. And when you can do that, then whenever you're working on something, you can ask yourself, is this where I need to be spending my time to build the things I need to build to hit the numbers I need to achieve? And if it's not, you need to say, you know what, hold yourself accountable, Craig. I got to get back to those things that matter and those things that I need to focus on. So that's step one, is really getting clear on a set of a vision and mission and objectives and priorities for the business, be that you as a solopreneur, you as the leader of a division, or you as the leader of your own company or small business. So that's step one. So I'm going to pause just a second. I got a couple of people in here, see if anybody has any questions, because there is this lovely 30-second delay. Okay. So now let's talk about the next thing in this is this idea of mindset. And people talk a lot about mindset. We're going to be talking more about it in coming weeks. But, the guru of mindset is Carol Dweck, who wrote the book about mindset. And she had the quote, some of the world's best athletes didn't start out being that hot. If you have a passion for a sport, put in the effort and see, right? In the famous story, Michael Jordan, right? He became what he was because he focused on it and he had that positive mindset. So let's talk about, now that I kind of know what it is I need to do with the mission and the objectives and the priorities, let's talk about our mindset about what we're doing every day. And part of it is just this whole mindset of, one, what's your locus of control? Do you have an intrinsic locus of control where you decide I control my destiny and I decide what things are going to happen and how I'm going to react to tough situations? Or an extrinsic locus of control where things are going to happen to you and gosh, I can't help it because I have no control over it. People who have that intrinsic locus of control, who see themselves as the driver of their destiny, have the ability to make the changes they need to make. So when you're getting distracted by things that are taking you away from those core things we identified in step one, the mindset of, well, those things are just happening and I'm stuck. I have to do what I have to do, versus I'm going to do the things that are going to matter. I'll take care of whatever that thing is, but it's not going to stand in the way of my success. And that really becomes a mindset issue for you. It is, do I have the ability internally to grow and change and become better? Or am I just who I am and I'm not going to be able to make any improvements? And I'm just this is how I react to situations. This is the limit of my knowledge. I can never really be good at sales because I've never been good at sales, or I can never pay attention to the detail because that's just not what my strength is. By the way, that's my trap. I always convince myself, oh, I'm just not a detail guy, but you need to be a detail guy or a detail person to be successful in what it is that you're going to do. So I really strongly encourage you to think about that mindset and think about, the control over your mindset of, am I taking care of the urgent and not important, or am I taking care of the important that I might have a longer term? It's so easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and then suddenly the big project you have becomes the urgent because you haven't been putting the work in and you don't deliver what it is you hope to deliver. So a big driver of all this is having your mindset in the right place, so you're thinking long-term, so you see yourself as the driver of your destiny, and it gives you the internal strength to power through the difficult issues and challenges that you're going to find. So step one, getting vision, getting objectives, getting your priorities. Step two, getting your head in the right space. And step three is accountability partners. So worst case scenario, if you're still struggling after those first two steps, what I encourage you to do is go out and find an accountability partner. It may be another small business owner. It may be a friend. Find that person who you can say, hey, look, friend, these are the goals that I have. These are the things that I'm trying to do. I need someone to help me stay accountable, someone I can check in with every month. And hey, by the way, happy to reciprocate. I'm happy to be this person for you. I'm really looking for an accountability partner. Not to be my friend and give me a pass. I'm looking for someone who's going to hold my feet to the fire. When I show up and say I didn't do what I said I was going to do, holds me accountable, pushes me, expresses the disappointment that I'm not stepping in for where I said I would, and really holds me accountable, and then sits beside me to say, let's figure out what we need to do different. That's where you can start building that accountability in, is get an accountability partner that you meet every week, every other week, or once a month for coffee to say, hey, here's how I'm doing against my goals. How are you doing? That's what I would really encourage you to think about, is finding that accountability partner. Now, it's tricky. You got to find somebody you can trust. You got to find somebody you're not competing with. You got to find somebody who has the own strength of character to hold you accountable when you need to be held accountable. So that accountability, first, where can you derive it for yourself? And it's hard to be accountable if you don't know where you're going. So let's get that vision, mission, objectives, and plans and priorities in place. Let's think about where our mindset is. We talked a few weeks ago, or I think last week, about mindset and things you can do to improve your mindset. So go back and check out, join our community if you're not in, at clearpathcoaches.com/community. Join us there. Watch last week's episode where we talked about mindset and how you start getting your mind right. So jump into that. And then when all else fails, find an accountability partner. Find that fellow small business owner. Find that friend. Find that person who you're willing to enter into an accountability relationship with. And if that's even still a struggle, that's when you start looking to say, where can I find a coach who I can hold myself accountable to? If you're looking for that, I would love to be that coach for you. I would love to talk to you about how we can help you build a plan to get you from where you are to where you want to be. A lot of times, I know so many of you in the business world you feel like things are running you, you're not running the business. Maybe if you were like me, you just thought, I need to figure this stuff out. I feel like I'm not always the smartest person in the room. I'm not seeing the value that I bring to the table. I need to really build that up. That's a great thing that I love to work with people on. So let's sit down, figure out where it is you are, where it is you want to be, put that plan together to get you there, and then work together in our bi-monthly meeting or twice a month meetings to really start building that plan to get you there, to deal with the roadblocks that inevitably come into your way. And then at the end, help you to celebrate success that you've actually moved through and achieved your goals for what it was you were trying to do. So that's this week's Clear Path Leadercast. Would love to know, drop some comments in. If you're watching this on the replay, give me a #replay. Set up a time for us to talk. If you would like to talk about how we can help you become more clear, get clear around what it is you're trying to do and build the plan to get there, set up a time at clearpathcoaches.com/consult call. Would love to talk to you more about that. And check out our blog, clearpathcoaches.com/blog. We bring in topics every week. This was this week's topic. We'll be growing that over time. So thanks everybody for your time today. Have a great week. Bye-bye.